Welcome back to the Yukon Gold podcast with Will S. We are talking about creating a sustainable future for everyone on planet Earth. We help people to reach their full potential by delivering the gold standard in renewable energy design, education, and installation. Talking about alternative ways of living off the grid, um, via solar, wind, hydro, uh, methane, gas, right? Uh, there's different ways of living your life. We don't all need to live in cities, and as the as the world progresses, we're gonna start coming back towards that. So today, I just wanted to talk about a little bit more about the homesteading program and the history of homesteading in Canada. So, if you were, alive during the 1800s, um, there was a program in Canada where you would actually be granted a homestead. So until the year 1900, the Canadian West had remained largely underpopulated. So the federal government began an intensive program offering cheap land and social and religious freedom. At the turn of the century, a homesteading entry cost $10 for a 160-acre piece of land, and the title to that property could be obtained after 3 years, provided that settlers lived on the land at least 6 months out of each of their first 3 years in Canada, and that they cultivated at least 40 acres of the land on their homestead and built a house on the property. If the initial 160 acres was not sufficient, the adjoining quarters could be purchased at a rate of $3 per acre. Most homes were crudely constructed of self-cut logs. Grain farming quickly became the foundation of the new settlers to Western Canada, but not without difficulty. Settlers had to clear the land in order to begin sowing their crops, in many cases using only awkwardly fashioned implements and what they had brought with them from their homelands. While the first farming implements were simple, they helped early farmers to establish their new homesteads and support their families. So this is how the Canadian West was primarily settled, basically up until the 1930s. And then there was even programs going as far as 1970. The only place left in Canada where this is still possibility is the Yukon. So since the 1980s, in the last 30 years, it has handed out over 333 land grants, totaling 3,351 hectares of agricultural land. So about 35 times the size of Vancouver Stanley Park. So the main requirement is that you have to have a farm development plan and a minimum of 60% of the land must be cleared, broken, seeded, and in crop production, which is, pretty cool. It's a lot of work, obviously, but you can get up to so the minimum application is 6 hectares and the maximum of 65 hectares. So basically a quarter section. And then again, the requirements are you must be a Canadian citizen or have permanent resident status. You must have resided in Yukon for 1 year prior, and you are at least 19 years of age. So, as long as you have your paperwork in order, you enter into an agreement for sale. You get the land legally surveyed, and then you must pay for the development costs. And then over the course of 7 years, whatever the value of the land is, that's how much improvements you need to make to it. I am still in the process of trying to navigate all this, but I am going to link all of this information in the description. Once again, if you're interested in learning more, you should go to the website, www.yukongoldenergy.com. I'm going to have a page there where people can sign up to be part of the Yukon Gold partnership. I am just the messenger here, letting people know that there are, places where you can, be granted a spot. Oops. There we go. Right. It's all about finding what works for you. Yeah, we're all working towards, what our life purpose is, what our life goals are. For myself, that is, a piece of property that I can develop into a working homestead. I've looked at the prospects in British Columbia, and it's just not as feasible here as it once was. So what you'd have to do to get your application going, submit your application to the agricultural branch of the Department of Energy, Mines, and Resources of the Yukon government or the relative government of the territory you've chosen. Again, the application should include a farm development plan, and you normally have 60 days to submit the plan. These lots generally go up for sale every year. There are, there's lots of ways to to do something, right? And it's important now more than ever, realistically, that we start coming back to the a more simpler way of being and doing things. It's it's just the way I think God intended us to live. A little bit more here about the Yukon territory. The Yukon is found on the northwestern side of Canada. It is the area of high plateaus and mountains. It shares borders to the east with the Northwest Territories and the south of British Columbia and the United States of Alaska. It's basically a giant triangle. The Yukon is known for its abundance of mineral wealth, sparse population, and large areas of unspoiled wilderness. Over 2/3 of the total population of Yukon live in Whitehorse, this is capital city. Nearly 1/3 of the population is of Aboriginal origin. There are actually 14 First Nations groups in the entirety of the Yukon. I'm learning more about that as well. The rest of the population is made up of European descendants of mixed Aboriginal and immigrant descent. So the Yukon slogan is larger than life, les plus grand que nature, which is French for the bigger than nature. Apparently, there is a sizable French population in Whitehorse as well. Let's just do a quick search on that. So apparently in the Yukon, the Francophone community has grown to over 1,500 native French speakers. Most live in the capital of Whitehorse, which has a wide range of French language services. The territory Francophone, 9 of 10 of them are from other countries or other parts of Canada, account for about 5% of the population. The Association Franco-Yukonaise plays a leading role in the Yukon's Francophone community. And is distinct from the pioneers of European descent who settled the traditional lands of the Dene, Gishan, and Tingit in the fur trade area. Many Francophones who took part in the Klondike Gold Rush. Given its lack of French language infrastructure, most of these pioneers eventually left the Yukon or were anglicized. So more than 1,000 Francophones live in Whitehorse or surrounding area. Many attend Friday coffee meetings at the Centre de Francophonie, which houses the Association Franco-Yukonaise and the French language newspaper L'Aurore Boréale, and the group that advocates for Francophone women. Yeah, this is pretty cool. I'm excited. I'm mentally and physically getting prepared. This is why I'm doing more of this podcast right now. As I educate myself, I'm trying to educate other people on the merits of moving to a relatively untouched territory. I'm going to keep looking for a suitable land grant. I'm always on the look for prime land. Right now, I'm kind of looking in the Carcross Tagish area, just because I think in the next 10 years here, there's going to be potential for electrical grid tie-ins. I know there's a lot of projects going through the Yukon government and Yukon Energy Corporation, because once again, the Yukon is a isolated electrical grid from the rest of North America, and they're always looking at building and stacking renewable capacity to their grid. So the more you know, the more we can be self-sustaining. Right now, actually, if I was to, so if you were in the Yukon right now, you could actually apply for up to $5,000 towards their micro generation program for your rebate, either photovoltaic, wind or hydro, biomass, thermal. So a rebate is $800 per kilowatt of generating capacity to a maximum of $5,000 per system. I will put all these links in the description. And this is an addition, I guess, to the Canadian Greener Home Grant, which I've been talking about ad nauseum, so all the time. And then also there's another one for domestic hot water systems. So so for the most part, the Yukon is a very friendly place to consider moving. I don't know, as a young person like myself, I'm kind of fed up with the current state of affairs here in British Columbia and Alberta, or Western Canada. And so for me, this is part of a larger 7 to 10 year plan. If you, once again, if you want to be part of this and you want to get in touch with me, just go to the I'm gonna put my link tree in the description of all my episodes now. So my link tree will be the best place to get a hold of me. You can message me there, either at the Daily Taoist, the Doomer Bloomer podcast, or the Yukon Gold Twitter. Any of those accounts will directly get a hold of me. If you would like to be part of the partnership, definitely consider joining the Telegram group and the Discord page. Again, they're going to be linked in the description. So wherever you are in the world, Western Canada, United States, Europe, wherever you're getting this platform, this podcast, do not hesitate to reach out. I am definitely looking for skilled tradespeople, professionals of all sorts, whether that be medical, accounting, real estate expert people, people who are looking to build a collective community and be part of something bigger and greater than themselves. If that sounds like it's up your alley and you're looking for a 5 to 10 year project and you want to be part of it, get in touch and we'll figure out the details. Have yourself a great and prosperous day. Namaste from Will S. and the Yukon Gold Partnership. Cheers.